Part 2. Azure Moon. Harpstring Moon. The King's Triumphant Return. Following the death of Rodrigue, Demitri begins to question his desire for revenge. His troubled mind turns to the kingdom capital and how he might end the chaos plaguing Fargus once and for all.
Our victory at Gronder was certainly a turning point for us. However, Rodrigue's death has been difficult to bear. We've lost considerable military strength and resources.
Are there no loyalty we can rely on? And is there no way to secure more soldiers?
Unfortunately, with things as they are now, I don't think House Gautier has any resources to spare.
I'm sorry. I really wish we could help. If only House Galatea had anything to give.
If we split up the soldiers currently defending the monastery, we should have sufficient numbers to invade the Empire. But even then...
Your Highness, you should be resting. Your wounds are still healing.
I am well, I assure you. More importantly, may I have a moment of your time? Thank you. I wish to apologize to all of you. I have led you down this dark path with me, and have caused so much suffering along the way. I cannot tell you how sorry I am for my behavior. There is no apology I could offer that would be sufficient.
And how do you intend to make up for my father's death?
Felix, I realize words alone are not enough to repent, but I fear they are all I have.
I'm not after more empty words. I want you to speak through your actions.
I know that no amount of regret can ever bring back the lives we have lost. I know that well. It is like patching up a tear with a different material. Things can never be as they were. The best I can hope for is to make things whole again. I wish to do the right thing from now on. That is why I have made a decision. I intend to take back the kingdom capital. I wish to save our people. Those who I turned my back on for far too long.
It's about time.
Follow my heart and do the right thing. That is the only way I can atone for my sins.
Your Highness. If we can win back Ferdiad, it will give us the advantage in our war against the Empire. As one who has served the royal family for ages, know that your words bring me great joy and pride. That said, I must point out that if we make for Ferdiad, the Emperor's head will slip further out of reach. Can you live with that?
I still hold hatred in my heart for her, and for the ones responsible for the tragedy. That I will carry with me until death. But my life is my own. It belongs to no one else, and it is high time that I started living for what I believe in. I will no longer allow the voices of the dead to bind me. This is something that I must do. No, something that I am choosing to do. I will accomplish my aim, even if it means risking my life to do so.
Understood, Your Highness. So, any objections?
None.
You are correct. We cannot afford to die in vain by recklessly challenging the Empire.
I'm worried about Lady Rhea. But if this is the choice you've made, I support it.
I am at your command, Your Highness. I will follow you anywhere.
My sword is at your service, Your Highness.
I'll help too. The people in Ferdiad need us.
Fine, I'll help you, in my father's stead. But in return, you must win. You know that, don't you, Demitri?
I do. And I swear on my father's lance that we will prevail.
Then it is decided. It seems this war council has much to discuss. Our next stop is Ferdiad, the kingdom capital, for the future of Fargus.
You're curious to know how Demitri is doing. Yes, let's go for a visit. Still training?
Indeed, but I was thinking about ending it here. Perhaps it is the gloomy weather, but I am feeling the sting of wounds that should have healed long ago.
Wait, what wounds?
The injury I got when that girl stabbed me after the battle at Gronder. Her eyes were filled with revenge, just as mine once were.
So who exactly was she?
I don't know, but I have a guess.
Go on.
Ah, I suppose I haven't told you about that yet.
Wait, what aren't you telling me about?
I was attacked inside the monastery the other day. It caused quite the uproar. The ones who attacked me were some of the youths we taught swordsmanship to once upon a time.
Wait. Why did they do it?
It seems they were raised by a group of thieves we put down 5 years ago. I heard Lady Rhea took custody of them, claiming that the children were innocent. I have taken so many lives, and with each one I face hatred. During the last 5 years especially. My life was not so different from that of a wild beast. And that young girl's brother. At some point I must have... That is why I thought it only natural that someone would retaliate someday. Because I hated, because I stole, and because I killed. But with those children, it's different. We drew our blades with the best of intentions, only to hurt them in the end. I suppose this is yet another thing we will just have to live with.
I guess I feel the same way.
Yes. As one who chose to fight, it is my responsibility to confront this anguish and the true nature of war, until the day my life comes to an end.
Then I guess it is mine as well. We can confront it together.
Thank you. You know, Professor, there is something that I only recently realized. I never knew it could be so comforting to have someone standing by my side.
Alright. Well, it took the death of somebody, but it seems like the prince is finally snapped out of it. Which means that he is going to have a bunch of supports ready and waiting for him. And we'll deal with that at the end of the episode, because just like always, we're going to explore the monastery. Also, before we forget, reclass, Demitri finished up being a High Lord, so now you can go working to be a Great Lord.
A new path to improvement.
And what was that ability that he got? Pump and Circumstance grants luck and charm +4. So a greater chance to get crits if you want to go for like a crit-based Demitri. Okay, so as of right now, we have no paralogs, we have no quests, so this might just be a quick month. And we'll just do the usual thing by starting off with Abyss. Hello there!
Hey you, listen up. I've got something to report. I hear there was a huge battle recently. Glad to see you made it back safe and sound. Maybe there's life after death, or maybe that's just a bunch of pretty words. Either way, we should live like our time here is all we've got.
Live your life to the fullest, as they say.
Pardon me. Got a wager for you. My friend says there's twice as many women in Abyss as men. You think he's right?
No, that man... No, the man on as few as that. He has easily twice as many women.
No way. You got eyes? Take a look around.
Alright. I don't know, I feel like to be, well... depends. Men are more likely to die, but I feel like women would be more willing to hunker down and hide.
Need something?
No, how much I got? I got 3,000. Okay. Anyways, who's over here? Hello there, Balthus.
Get this, pal. I swung by the training ground and ran into that Demitri guy. Haven't seen him in ages. He seems less rabid, but he's still too damn serious. It's depressing. I challenged him to a brawl, hoping for a quick knockout. Didn't work out that way. We went at it for quite a while. It was a tough one.
Oh yeah. You should have invited me.
Ooh, the two of us could have taken him down, no problem. Between you and me, the man is stunning in battle. Nearly on par with myself. Bet the ladies can't get enough.
Yeah, you don't have one of my students, pal. You're not gonna defeat them so easily. Constance?
Professor, it's a shame that our path is taking us far from the Imperial capital, but I don't feel too badly about it. It takes us closer to the Ferdiad School of Sorcery, where I explored many branches of study. This way, I can repay my debt to the teachers who gave me such invaluable guidance.
Bring him back.
I've been close with one of the kingdom soldiers I met in town. He talked about how he hated the war, but just gotten engaged. I thought he'd stay. He didn't want to invade the Empire, but he left for the front anyway. He never came back.
Oh. Such is the horrors of war.
I hear there was a pretty spectacular battle up there recently, but we don't hear a lot about that stuff. There was a lot of talk when it first started, but 5 years on, it's just a fact of life. What? There have been lots of battles on the surface recently? I hadn't heard. See what I mean?
Yeah, sadly, after a while, fighting just becomes the norm, which is awful. A talisman shield. Hello, what are you? A well-bound shield crafted to withstand both physical and magical attacks. So it's a weight of 4 for 1 defense and 2 resistance. Alright. Anyways, hello there.
We're going to the kingdom capital. That means I'll run into the lady who, well, you know.
Must be eager to face her. You hold on your enemy.
No, I'm definitely not in a rush to confront that one. We'll just have to see what happens when I meet her face to face.
Charlie had some unique dialogue. I don't feel like trying to find it, though. It was good to know I could always just look it up online.
We've come so far. I hate that we're headed to the kingdom capital now. But it's not like we have much choice. We don't have the numbers to face the Empire head on. So we've just gotta shut it and deal.
Now, if we can just get the Alliance to not actually fight us, and I don't know, maybe protect their southern borders as we deal with our western border, leaving the Empire to have to divide and conquer or focus solely on one. Alright, well, nobody's in the tournament grounds, but we got an axe tournament. And, well, he's never used an axe, but then again, I only have like a few people that have actually ever used an axe. I would say it would either be the duel of Felix, and I mean, Felix is kind of a beast with physical weapons, so yeah. And just like always, Felix is a goddamn beast with a physical weapon. Thank you for the axe and for the cash. Alright, it's rare to see somebody in their room. Hello there.
I'm relieved the prince seems to have finally come to his senses.
So am I.
It's a real shame that Lord Rodrigue passed away. It really is. But now, I think we're starting to see a sliver of hope for the future of Fodlan.
Hey there.
He'll need to excel as a leader if he's to make up for my old man's death. Though if my father could see Demitri now, he'd be glad to have made the sacrifice. Don't you dare tell anyone I said that.
I was wanting to see how you were doing. Alright, hello there. Thank you. Oh, nothing. Well. Usually I get one of those nice little things. One of those stat growing blah blah blahs, but I didn't get any this time, so odd. Just very odd. Oh, ignorance is bliss, I guess you're right.
The fish
fish in this pond get fed every day, so they're swimming all lazy and serene. But the only reason they're kept here is so that they can one day be used for food. But the fish don't know that, so they just swim around happily. It's a bit of a miserable thought. But aren't soldiers much the same?
Well, usually I hope that the soldiers never have to actually go out to fight. But you have them there in case you need them to fight.
Professor?
Gatekeeper?
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Ferdiad is a city with a long history that goes back to before Fargus gained its independence. I'd like to visit that place at least once before I die. But I'm afraid I have my own work to attend to. It's hard being so dedicated. Ah, well. I'll go there for some leisurely sightseeing once Fodlan knows peace.
Glad to hear it.
If you manage to take back Ferdiad, it'll make it a bit easier for us to do business. Taxes in the Fargus dukedom are ridiculously high. Makes it hard to even think about trading. That Cornelia woman. What does she use that ample tax money for anyway? From the Empire's perspective, I suppose it makes sense to squeeze the former kingdom territories for all they're worth. But if they throw those territories into total ruin, doesn't that defeat the purpose of conquering them?
Well, that's the kind of big thing we don't know, like the quote-unquote endgame.
A class reunion on the battlefield? That's bleak. That must have been so hard on everyone. You gotta keep looking after them all. I mean, they still look to you for guidance, you know?
Hello there, Sylvain. What are you doing out here?
I don't feel like I can just forget all the awful stuff he's done. But if His Highness is owning up to his past and trying to move forward, I figure I can give him that chance. We've been friends since we were kids. I'm gonna be there for him all the way to the end.
Yes, hopefully it did change. Hopefully everything kind of snapped him back.
Everyone is saying His Highness is back to his old self, but I do not think that is accurate. What he was until recently is what he had been for as long as I've known him. So tortured by his compassion for the fallen that it had driven him mad. He has always been too kind to be king. He has always felt too much for the weak and the dead. That is exactly why I look up to him.
Professor, I really caused trouble for you, didn't I? I am so sorry, truly. I am also eternally grateful to you. Now, it's time to go to the kingdom capital. I hope that you will lend me your strength once again.
But of course. Hello there.
What? I can still hardly believe we managed to win against numbers like that. Oh, unless the real me is lying dead in Gronder and this is all just a happy dream.
No, you're still alive, buddy, for better or for worse.
We buried Lord Rodrigue's body ourselves. There wasn't time to do things properly. It pains me that I was unable to take him home to his territory. Once this war is over, I'd like to hold a proper funeral for him. For now, we need to focus on taking back Ferdiad. All will be well eventually. I know we can win.
After that great battle earlier, balance of power in Fodlan has shifted greatly. To get revenge for all our fallen friends, we'll have to stake our lives on the fight that lies before us.
Shamir! I knew you'd be back.
So we're turning around and heading for the kingdom capital? Ridiculous. Tell him to cease this nonsense. Isn't there a saying in Fodlan? Something about those with power knowing how to use it? If he's not careful, the goddess will send her saints to smite him. Not that I believe that.
No, I believe he is making the right decision for once. We lack the power, the manpower, or the weapons to really go down to the capital right now, or the Empire. The kingdom needs to get itself together before we can help to deal with somebody else.
I've come to deliver vegetables we harvested in the village to the monastery's dining hall. Because of the season, I couldn't really pick that much. But I wanted to help you guys out, even just a little bit. We're busily planting seeds, so when things start to grow, I'll be back.
Appreciate it. Hopefully by growing season next year, all of this will be nothing more than just a bad memory.
Up until a few decades ago, Ferdiad was a disorderly city. Even the water supply was poorly constructed. As such, it was a hotbed of sickness and disease. The late king hired a researcher named Cornelia, who advised that he give top priority to improving the city's infrastructure. In the space of just a few years, the city was transformed into a place of beauty and order. At the same time, the diseases that had plagued our land loosened their grip, one after another. It was miraculous.
Well, if anything, it would have been the water. Getting rid of bad water, meaning that people aren't drinking bad water, so they're not getting sick. And the bad water not going to the crops, meaning they're not eating stuff that's going to make them sick.
The kingdom capital. It's been way too long since I was there last. Oh, Professor, I didn't mean... it's not that I'm looking forward to it or anything.
You don't have to hide it.
Please don't tease me like that. It's just, when I think of us finally saving everyone in Ferdiad, it makes me a little happy. Okay, maybe a lot happy. The kingdom capital is under the tight control of Cornelia, who was ennobled by the Empire. Judging by what we heard from Lord Rodrigue, it sounds like she's a tyrant. But all of that ends soon. Let's get there quickly.
I agree that we should head for Ferdiad, but let's not forget our search for Lady Rhea.
We won't.
The soldiers from the church are going to set up a base at the Great Bridge of Murden. They'll be able to keep up the search while we head for the kingdom capital.
That's good. That's why we're not losing any land that we fought so hard just to grab just by not being here. Alright, who did I miss over here? Cyril!
Yeah. Guess what I noticed? I can see further than most other people can see. But I can't figure the point of seeing further than an arrow can fly, since I can't shoot what I see.
You could detect enemy movements in advance. You could find our targets quicker than anyone.
Yeah, I suppose it could be real useful for finding Lady Rhea, too. Thanks, Professor. I think I get it now. I'm gonna put my eyes to real good use.
Alright, I'm glad I picked the right option then. Alright, Catherine.
If we're headed to the kingdom capital, that means we're further away from rescuing Lady Rhea. But it can't be helped, can it? Perhaps some people will question this decision, but I trust your judgment. Lady Rhea would want us to help in Ferdiad. She'd scold us if we rescued her and left innocent people suffering.
Hello there, Sedith.
It seems we are headed for the kingdom capital this month. The Church of Seros stands ready to lend its aid to you and Demitri. It may be a roundabout route, but I believe this path will still eventually take us to Rhea. Besides, saving the people of Fargus is just what she would want us to do.
I still say that we should have done this one first. This would have given us a much greater military power, and then made the idea of finding and or possibly rescuing Rhea a lot easier.
Fighting with 3 different groups in the mix was as confusing as it was difficult to survive. Enemies and allies dying, one on top of the other. What an absolute mess, huh? If only I had my infirmary out in Gronder. Maybe I could have saved a few more lives.
There's no use worrying about or thinking about the could-have-beens. All you can do right now is live for now. Do I know there's a school of sorcery? I've heard about it.
There's a school of sorcery in Ferdiad, which is staffed by the top minds of magical research. The study of crests and sorcery should not be separate. I've often thought I should pay them a visit someday. I never imagined I might end up invading the place with an army, though. Not how I imagined it at all.
I can get that. Hello there, you two.
The battle at Gronder Field was gruesome, wasn't it? But perhaps it's irresponsible to look away. To close our eyes to the horrors of war.
I agree.
As survivors, we must ensure that all these lives were not lost in vain. We must see the tragic foundations upon which we'll build our future. May an age of peace rise from the ashes, so that all this sacrifice means something.
It seems we will soon set foot in Ferdiad. I used to live there, you know, though that was before my time in the Officers' Academy.
Wait, were you a traveler?
That's right. I was enrolled at the School of Magic there for a time. Trouble within the kingdom forced me to return to Alliance lands. There was much I had yet to learn.
Huh. Interesting.
Taking back the land of home has the most importance. That is why I am fighting. All for my land of home. Actually, there is more. I am also fighting for you. And for everyone here.
Aww.
Edelgard, Claude, His Highness, all the house leaders from way back when, assembled again at Gronder. I wonder what their thoughts were as they headed out to the battlefield.
I am very grateful to you. I could never have achieved this on my own. This is all thanks to you and Lord Rodrigue. This month, we will invade Ferdiad by way of the Fraldarius domain. Leave the negotiations with House Fraldarius to me. You make ready for the actual battle. It is a tricky business.
That works for me.
But we are taking our first steps forward.
What, you're saying before wouldn't... Supply run, yep.
I have
As
a
always.
request.
There's a demand for flowers, but we have not yet gathered enough. What do you lend us a hand, Professor? It's purple. I would ask for the most beautiful flowers you can find. Find some flowers and give them as a gift. Alright, here's your requested resources.
The Emperor was wounded at Gronder Field. What do you think is going on in the Empire now? The Leicester Alliance has really suffered a blow as well. Who knows what will become of them? From now on, we have to pay close attention to how the rest of Fodlan is doing.
Funny enough, the Alliance would have been much better off. They didn't bother fighting us. Also, I need to get a specific single flower. I was wondering if I could just give him, like, flowers that I have on me, but no, it has to be a specific flower. Hello. Alright, Gilbert, here you go.
This month, leave the negotiations. Is it tricky?
Here you go. Flowers to be used as an offering for those who died in war. The flowers are colorful, but the leaves are sharp as a blade.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Sorry, I didn't mean to skip all that. Ash, hello there.
Anyway, I was born and raised in Fargus, but I've never actually been to Ferdiad. Do you think it'll still be cold at this time of year? I can't even imagine.
We should be prepared for the cold, but maybe we should ask someone.
Good point. I'll check with His Highness.
Alright, we got one note. I fear I may not be able to achieve my dream within my lifetime. Therefore, I must find up a worthy successor. Where would I locate such a fervorous youth? Try the Ferdiad Royal School of Sorcery. Look in Morphus, the City of Illusions. It'll be easy after we rebuild the Officers' Academy. The Royal School of Sorcery. Nope, okay. I'm gonna say it was probably the third one about when we rebuild the school. Also, yeah, Choir Festival today, like usual, so... Come on, girls. Thank you for your patronage. And Flame, I forget about you so much.
Standing face to face with those whom I went to school with. On the field of battle. How inhuman war is. How horrifying. My heart feels shattered. It is my hope that this war marks the end of such foolish behavior.
We can only hope. And, well, that's everybody for this month. Unless I can do something with you. Well, let's get these out of the way.
This one?
Unless I start selling stuff. I don't know if I'll get these actually completed. Also, I'm surprised they didn't go to Platinum when I finished maxing them out. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna talk to some of the students, get myself some more skills and abilities, and yeah, I'll just speed things up. Alright, let's end things off and do the usual thing. Instruct students. Because it would be nice, because now we should finally be able to actually instruct Demitri as well. Although, to be fair, I don't even know what I really want to do with him. I guess I can just have him focus on his horseback riding? Let me actually go back for a second. Let me go to your goals. Because it's been a while. I had you going in that one to be the Dark Knight, so... yeah, following your father's footsteps. But I'm going to specifically have you focus on that horseback riding. See if we can get that actually completed? Or... god dang! I say that was a very good, very good instruction, like, dang. Oh. And... no, that still goes up. You've learned the ability of Sword Crit plus 10. And yeah, that can still go up again. To an S+. It's just going to require over 1,000 experience, dear god. Alright, keep it up, Ash, and you'll get that to an A+. There we go. There we go! He's learned the ability of Movement plus 1. So it's an ability, it's not just something you gain, so you actually have to equip it. Ew. Ew. Oh, that sucks. I mean, it's so cool to have, but like, ew, that should just be a natural progression thing. To put in that much effort and still be told, yeah, you still have to work harder on it, is just disgusting. Not work harder on it, but the fact, like, oh, it's you have to actually equip it and get rid of a different item to use it is just, ugh, to me. That is just, ugh. I don't think that worked for the magic. I'm pretty sure for the magic that was just, like, a given.
No. I would...
Alright, group task. I guess I'll go for Skywatch. I'll give it to you two.
I'd like to...
Times are hard. My favorite food court that sold the most amazing grilled delights went under. I don't even know what to live for anymore. Why not try making your own? Maybe they go open back up with the war ends. Why not look for a similar food court? Why not try making your own?
I see.
You didn't like that one. Well, she was okay with it, but didn't love it. So you want to go from lantern riding to sword and authority. Lords must be leaders, so strong authority should be considered the requirement. They also fight in the front line, and thus I need to know how to handle a sword. Such are my goals. Are we aligned? No. Well, like, so far, we're already in the middle of war, buddy. You going from a lance to a sword is not the smartest decision. Anyways, we got Annette's birthday today. I almost did the wrong thing. Oh, having it in her room, alright. How about a ginger?
I'm here for... thank you. It's so good. Huh?
Thank you for everything. It's fun to Monastery. Heart-racing memories. Thank you for everything.
Okay.
First crush. The ideal relationship. Likeable allies. I was gonna say, I feel like the first two, especially with the teacher, are a bit creepy.
Okay.
Food in the dining hall. Strange fish in the pond. Things you find romantic.
Wow. When I'm with you, I feel like I can be myself.
Blush. Laugh. Blush.
Huh? Thank you so much. Huh? Thank you so... Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Well, I won't have to worry so much about her mood. And the usual thing.
Who knows? Wow. Not possible. Not possible. Professor. Got it. Thanks for
They'll
the
find it
treat.
creepy.
It was so yummy.
Anyways. I think we're just gonna just blaze on through this month at this rate. Not going to be doing any fighting. We don't have to do anything
We can handle it.
outrageous.
We will work with each other.
We did well enough.
Actually, gonna make things even easier for myself.
I've come too far.
Oh, congrats on magic. We're literally just gonna rest. It will give everybody a 50% to their mood, and it would it would repair the Sublime Creative Sword. Yeah, it will be repaired, but even though I don't need that, it's just a faster way of going through everything.
Professor.
From action brawling to focus on the brawling to excel the grappler. I must be able to guard His Highness at all times, even when I'm unarmed. Please train me in the hand-to-hand combat. You already are. You're also sticking with the axe because it's nice to have. Lesson writing to read writing to become a Dark Knight. As special both weapons and magic, Dark Knights are true paragons of excellence in the battlefield. With reason as a prerequisite, it seems I am well suited for the war, wouldn't you say? Oh, we got something this week. Probably a choir meeting. It's Saint Makul's Day. Today, there'll be him in the title. Him, blah 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 blah.
Tra-la-la-la-la.
I want to leave. Don't make me do this.
I don't know why it chose you two, of all people, but alright. That's funny. Alright, well... I'm gonna rest, and then have the tea party, but then we'll be ending things off. Because, well, we're gonna have the usual thing before... Our usual dialogue and all that before we actually have the mission. So, I guess I'll be signing off. We still have all of the supports to do, so we'll deal with that as well at the end of this video. Yeah, next time we'll be dealing with the actual battle, so, neat. We're getting through this game... We're gonna be getting through this game faster than...
Hello, this tea is my favorite.
Oh well, just picked one at random. Yeah, we're gonna be going through this game, hopefully, rather soon. I mean, we still have a couple of chapters left. And it's probably gonna be like another paralog or two, it's just... Really, you wanted to talk about the last battle? But yes, it's kind of surprising just how far we've gone. Alright, you do like ghost toys, don't you? I'm sorry, I just completely ruined this tea time.
That was delicious.
You're welcome. So, until next time, so long, farewell. And, yeah, how many more episodes are we gonna have left of this, campaign? No battle. Okay, so yeah, yeah, how many missions are gonna have left? Honestly, I don't know. I think this is mission 18, and I think there's like 20-some. So, I know there's less than 10. I want to say maybe 22 if this is 18, so 18, 19, 20, 21. So maybe 5 more missions? So, I would say a minimum of 10 episodes, but I could be highly mistaken. Anyways, let's just save things off here and deal with our mission next time. Reclaiming the capital. So until then, so long, farewell, and have yourself a good one. Let's get ready for all the supports. Later.
Your Highness, you still have scars on your back. It does you no good to languish in pain. I will procure some medicine.
No, it is fine. Though they are still deep, these are from 9 years ago. They do not hurt any longer. Besides, it would be a shame if the scars I got from protecting you were to fade. I bear these scars proudly. It makes me think that it was worthwhile that someone like me survived.
To hear you say such things.
You say that I saved you. But do you know that you also saved me that day? If I had been unable to save anyone, I would have been the sole survivor. I would have had no reason to keep living. But I saved someone. Saved you. That and that alone has always been my crutch.
When I stood before those soldiers and their swords that day, I was prepared to die. But then, you suddenly appeared, and you shielded me. I knew then that a savior's hand could reach into even the deepest darkness. I still have not been able to repay that debt.
Have you not heard a word I've said? You have saved me in countless ways. 5 years ago, I did nothing but await my execution within my jail cell. Was it not you that saved me?
That was nothing more than my duty as your vassal.
Listen, perhaps you consider me to be someone special, but I think the same of you. You are irreplaceable, cherished. So stop saying that we cannot be friends. Stop saying such awful things.
Please, do not look at me that way. You promised me you would build a kingdom that is proud to boast of Duscar blood. In this kingdom, where there is no distinction between the people of Duscar and the people of Fodlan, will I finally, without reservation, be able to call you my friend? Will I, Demitri?
Yes, you will call me your friend again and again, no matter how many hardships I must endure.
I will do all I can to bring about that world as well. To be your friend is what I have always wanted.
Is that so? I am glad to hear it.
But until that time, we must allow no harm to befall you. So please call upon me when you walk alone at night. And even when you go out in the day, please tell me where you are going and whom you are meeting.
In the end, I suppose there is no fixing your overprotectiveness, is there? I suppose I can live with that.
I have a question for you. Answer quickly before my hand slips and I cut you in half.
Always so ominous. Well, what is it, Felix?
Sometimes you have an animal's face, contorted with anger and bloodlust. At other times, a man's with a friendly smile. Which is your true face?
Do not waste your breath on questions with such obvious answers. They are both the real me. My father, my friends, Glenn. They all meant a great deal to me. And they were all brutally slaughtered. I alone survived. If I do not shoulder the anguish and regret they must have felt, who will?
So that's how you justify your atrocities.
What do you mean?
I will fulfill my duty to the late king. My old man used to say that over and over like a mantra. How nauseating. No one seems to understand. The dead won't acknowledge your loyalty. They don't care. What a load of bunk it is, pretending to serve a corpse. You're serving your own ego.
You are wrong.
No, I'm not. The dead are dead. The living are living. You have to respect that boundary. If you keep stringing gravestones around your neck, you'll snap.
Even still, I cannot forget them, nor can I let them go.
Then keep those thoughts to yourself. If you're too weak to do that, abandon your throne. Become a gravekeeper.
Felix.
I'm not immune to emotion, you know. Far from it. I haven't gone a day without questioning why my father and brother had to die, while I survived. I'll bear this pain until the day I die, but I refuse to wallow in it. I have more important things to do than blubber for my whole life.
You know, Felix, you really are growing more and more like your brother. Always so sarcastic and constantly looking for a fight. But deep inside, more than anyone, you...
What are you getting at?
Oh, it's nothing. But allow me to thank you. Your perspective has opened my eyes.
Not my intention. I couldn't stand the pathetic look on your face, that's all.
I see. If you say so, then we will leave it at that. You've been spending a lot of time at the training ground, Mercedes. As far as swordsmanship goes, you're like a whole new person.
Thank you. I have such a great time when you teach me that improving comes naturally.
It's all because of your own hard work. Compared to you,
You shouldn't be so disappointed in yourself. You're improving too. You just need to keep at it.
Well, I can hold a needle and thread without breaking anything now. That's... something.
That's a big step. When we started, you couldn't even hold a pair of scissors without twisting them apart.
True. I'm sorry for being such a burden.
You're no bother at all. I like sewing with you. It reminds me of when I was young and my mother taught me how to sew. My mother would sit with my brother and me, and we'd all sew together. Ah, I really miss it. Even though I was barely better than you when I started. Did your mother like to sew, Demitri?
My birth mother? From my father's accounts, she wasn't great at it either.
Oh, of course. I forgot that the Queen of Fargus passed away long ago.
Yes. I don't really remember what she was like. But I remember my stepmother, always sitting by the window sewing away.
I'm sure she would have been happy to teach you if you had asked.
She always looked so lonely when she was sewing. So unreachable. She was kind to me, yes, but when she was like that, it was hard to talk to her. I'm not certain she would have wished to teach me.
I'm so sorry, Demitri. I didn't mean to bring up such difficult memories.
Don't worry about it. If I don't talk about those things sometimes, I'll risk forgetting them altogether. And that would truly be a shame.
I see.
But now I'm just going on and on about myself. Why don't you tell me more about you?
More about me? Oh, goodness. I don't even know what to say.
It's hard to think of something on the spot, isn't it? You could speak of your family, I suppose.
You want to know more about my family? On that topic, I'm happy to oblige. In fact, I'm so glad you asked. It's important to think about your past and share it every now and then. This might take a while, but would you be willing to stay and listen?
Of course. I will listen for as long as you wish.
Your Highness, I have one more favor to ask.
Is this about Gustav again? I have plenty more stories about him, but perhaps it is time for you to speak with him yourself.
Oh, it's not about Father this time. This time I wanted to ask about you.
About me?
I mean, I heard all about Father last time, but I didn't ask about you.
Ah, well, I'm afraid there is not much of interest for me to tell you.
Oh, it doesn't have to be funny or interesting. That's not why I'm asking. It's just that I thought I already knew you, but I'm not sure I really do. That day when we were reunited at the monastery, I didn't know what to say to you. So I wanted to prepare some of your favorite food. I thought maybe if you ate something that you liked, you'd cheer up a little. But when I got to the kitchen, I realized I didn't even know what you like to eat.
I see. Well, it's a little hard to say what my favorite is. I just don't really have any strong feelings about food. That said, you're pretty keen on sweet things, right, Annette?
Yes, that's right. I'm at my happiest when I'm digging into a sweet treat. Oh, did you know there's a famous sweets shop in the capital?
Yes. It often had long lines outside, didn't it? The castle guards often spoke of it.
The sweets were so good. They cost a fortune, but I loved them. When Father was still around, we all lived as a family in the capital. Since then, I've had them only a few times.
How I'd love to taste them again.
Say, Annette, when this war is over, where will you go? I heard that you were close to Baron Dominic back in the Academy days.
That's right. But that's not where I think I'd like to go when all of this is over. I reconnected with Father, so I'd like to live with my family again, in the capital. Also, if I'm in the capital, I'll be able to see you from time to time. Right?
Ah, that settles it then. We'll have to get your father working twice as hard.
Father's at a ripe old age now. I'd appreciate it if you didn't work him too hard.
Oh, of course. I will keep that in mind. Finally, you score a point against me on the ground. You have improved, Ingrid.
That was nothing more than a fluke. My technique was horribly sloppy that last round.
It does not matter what sort of technique it was. You won. If this had been a real battle, I would be dead. You wielded your lance well, without any hesitation. Has your approach changed?
You may recall when I said I'm now able to move on, because of you.
I remember. What did you mean by it?
That I finally understand a truth about Glenn. It sounds as though he died with a heavy heart. A heart that carried regret. I had suspected as much. But instead of acknowledging it, I twisted my memory of him to fit an ideal I've been upholding.
I see.
Your Highness, I will not sacrifice my life for anyone. But perhaps instead, I can live my life for someone. I will pledge my life to you.
And how exactly am I meant to interpret that?
However you please, Your Highness.
Oh? Well then. Ingrid, when this is all over, I want you to support and defend me. As my knight. I have been thinking of telling you this for a long time. We get along well, you and I.
As your knight? Yes, yes, of course. Of course I will. I intended to do so for the sake of the kingdom. Together, Your Highness. You and I. Our first order of business. Putting this tragic war to an end.
Yes. And while we're at it, do not die on me, Ingrid. Promise me that.
Yes, Your Highness. I swear it on my lance.
Up this late practicing with your lance, are you?
And what about you? Have you got something on your mind again? You really should go to bed. It is chilly out, and you could catch cold. What's the matter? Have you been having nightmares?
Well, in a certain sense, yes. Can you spare a moment?
Of course.
Thank you. I want to apologize to you. When last we spoke, I mishandled the situation.
Your words that night touched me deeply. It felt as though I had been punched in the gut. But more importantly, I think I owe you an apology. I lied to you.
You did?
Do you recall when I ate that meal you cooked and I told you it was delicious? The truth is that no matter what I eat, I can scarcely taste it. I have not had my sense of taste for 9 years now.
My cooking certainly is not something people often compliment me on.
I am sorry. When I said the food was good, I was just saying what I thought you would want to hear.
An apology is not necessary. You were only trying to be kind, after all.
In the end, I am not sure it was kind.
Just the same, it was nice to hear. Oh, hey! I have an idea! What if you sampled some really pungent food? Or something extremely spicy? Maybe that would...
Flame.
Yes?
I like your cooking. I cannot taste it properly, but in my book, it is truly delicious.
No need for the flattery. Anyhow, maybe someday you will get your taste back. I hope then you will be able to compliment me sincerely about my cooking.
Gustav. It has been 8 years since I last called you by that name.
Your Highness, I must deeply apologize for leaving the kingdom without permission.
There is no need to explain, old friend. I can guess at your reasons. The tragedy of Duscur. You felt responsible for that incident and sought respite in the goddess, abandoning your name, rank, and homeland in repentance. Am I right?
I have no excuses to offer. It was all I could think to do.
I always knew you for a pious man, and I figured that if you were to leave, this is where you would end up. You have changed much. Your face does not have the same resolve it once did.
If I may, Your Highness.
I can't disagree.
It was my duty to protect His Majesty, your father. Naturally, that also included Lady Patricia and yourself as well.
My father and mother are gone. No amount of regret will bring them back.
My dreams are haunted by the thought that, had I arrived at Duscur more swiftly...
You saved my life at Duscur. I have only gratitude for you, no blame to speak of. I wish for you to remain in the kingdom, Gustav, even after this conflict is over. I need your strength to help rebuild the ravaged land that Fargus has become.
Please, I beg your forgiveness, but there is no place left for me in that land.
I see. Though much has changed, your stubbornness remains. I have no desire to trouble you. If you do not wish to return, that is your choice to make. But I do advise you to at least visit the place of your birth, if only for your family's sake.
Yes, Your Highness. Thank you. I appreciate your concern.
Your Highness, missing the day's training? How unlike you!
I had intended to train, but this rain is unrelenting.
Yes, it's really coming down out there. Makes it hard to go outside, I suppose. It's pouring so hard, I can't help but feel poorly.
Yes. Quite.
Sorry, that one was pretty bad. I think this weather is putting a damper on my sense of humor.
At any rate, did you need me for something?
Ah, yes. You seem to have the time to spare, so would you help me organize our stock of weapons? You must know a thing or two about weapons, and I bet you're no slouch at physical labor.
Of course, I'd be happy to help. I was just hoping for a useful way to pass the time until the rain lets up.
I appreciate it. I don't know how I do it all on my own. You know, it's great that you're willing to help with this kind of thing. Some nobles are so self-important. You're a real go-getter, Your Highness. Or should I say, your spryness? Maybe that was disrespectful. If he's going to lop off my head, he'd better go ahead and do it. I can't bear the silence. Listen, Your Highness, that joke, I didn't mean to...
I just...
Huh?
oh my... I'm sorry, Eloise.
Wait, you mean you actually found it funny?
Oh goodness, not at all.
I see.
But when a joke is unfunny to a certain degree, it somehow comes full circle into hilarity.
That's not exactly what I was going for. Still, I don't think I've ever seen you laugh so loudly.
It's true. Laughter is not one of my strong suits. I actually can't recall the last time I laughed like that. Eloise, perhaps you should focus your efforts on honing this comedic talent of yours.
This talent? Is that your way of saying I'm no good at telling jokes?
My apologies. I should refrain from commenting on the quality of your jokes. What's important is that they bring joy, right?
That does it. Next time I make you laugh, I'm gonna make you admit it was a good quality joke. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to cook up some top-notch rib ticklers.
Eloise, what about organizing the weapons? Oh, he's gone, isn't he?
Didu, are you praying to the goddess of Fodlan? That seems odd. Won't the Dusker gods be upset if they hear you praying to another land's deity?
The Fodlan goddess was recognized in Dusker, too. The deities of foreigners are seen as the protectors of their respective lands. It has been said that we would offer our prayers to her in times of war.
Huh. So the goddess is part of a pantheon. I guess that's one way to interpret it. Anyway, what are you praying for?
For peace to come even one day sooner.
That's a lovely prayer. I was just thinking about praying for that myself.
I see.
Hey, Didu, what are your plans for yourself once this war is finally over?
To serve His Highness for the rest of my days.
I thought you might say that.
And you?
That's a good question. I was thinking about traveling to Dusker.
To Dusker? There is nothing of interest left there.
Isn't it where you were born? And isn't it where your wonderful food and stories come from? I think those are reasons enough to visit at least once.
Mercedes. If you will allow it, I would like to accompany you. His Highness would surely grant me leave to go.
You really think so? Then I hope the war ends as soon as possible.
As do I.
We're going to have to shower the goddess with prayers. We'll pray that she watches over and protects us while we work to end this war. Then, when it's finally finished, we can travel.
That promises to be interesting. We should pray to the Dusker gods as well.
Yes, that's a brilliant idea. Which of the Dusker gods should we pray to?
For victory, we pray to the god of war, or just the god of war.
Come on, what were you going to say? Oh, I know. It's the god of travel, right?
Let us leave it at that.
I knew I was right. You taught me so much about your gods. So let's pray. For the end of the war, and for our safe travels to Dusker.
Ah, hello. Didu, yes?
Finished praying?
I am, yes. You have grown much since I saw you last. You're a man now.
You barely know me.
True. I suppose we did only meet a handful of times.
As haggard as you look now, you were even worse when I last saw you in the capital.
Haggard, eh? True enough.
Still weighed down by the same regret, I see.
I was unable to protect the king. That is the ultimate failure. One I must atone for.
If you have the spare time to beg forgiveness, then pick up a lance and train.
That would do nothing to atone for the dead.
Your prayers are mere self-indulgence.
You do not understand.
No, I do not. Fargus needed you. His Highness needed you.
There was no other choice but for me to leave. What would you have done if you were in my place? If His Highness had died due to your failures?
If he commanded me to live, then I would live. Otherwise, I would die with him. I have nothing left to lose other than His Highness. Home, family, all but that man I have already lost. You were a knight in service to the king for decades. Not only did you excel in bravery, wisdom, and tactics, but in matters of character, you were an ideal knight, utterly above reproach. That is what His Highness has always said. I have only come this far by modeling my conduct after his stories of you. But now...
Forget those words spoken by His Highness. I am no different a man than I was before, beaten down by sin, alone and weak. I am lost and irredeemable.
Need something? Let's hear it.
Oh, no, I don't need anything. I was just hoping to talk to you, Felix.
When I said you could be near me, I meant on the battlefield. You're pushing it a little too far. You better not start calling me Emil.
You know, I'm not just using you as a stand-in for my brother. I don't mean to upset you. But I've come to realize that you two don't have that much in common after all.
I don't understand. Why are you hanging around me if not to replace your brother?
It's not that I want to be near Emil, but I want to be near you.
What?
How embarrassing. It must sound like I'm coming on to you. Regardless, you've made it clear that you don't want me around.
No. It's not that.
Good. Then I'll continue to spend time at your side.
What a perplexing creature.
What's that? Did you say something? Never mind that. Why don't we go out for a nice cup of tea?
I can't think of a reason to refuse your invitation, so I suppose I have to accept.